right. So where are we with the Panthers? I feel like consensus in my Panther group chats, there's no panic.
I'm in one of your chats.
That's true. You're in that one. In the main Panther chat that I'm in, it seems like the third period made Panther fans feel at ease with this is going to be a long series. We're fine.
When you know what? When they were down 4-1, that was not the Panthers that I've seen most of the season and through last year's playoffs. They were awful. They were disjointed. Bob let in a couple of bad goals. The Panthers I saw come back from 4-1 down and make it a game, that was the Panthers I know. If I'm not the least bit worried, I think they're going to win Wednesday night. Then they got 2 at home. No panic whatsoever.
Wow.
I think if you ask Panther fans today how they feel going forward the remainder of the series, I think there's still a ton of confidence. I think if you ask the Maple Leaf fan how they feel right now, they're certainly very happy that they're up 1-0, but I think they're also like, yeah, that we might have gotten a little bit lucky here with what took place. I thought the Panthers were totally going to come back in the third period and win that game. They were so, like, the Panther fan looks at that and knows they didn't play well. Does the Maple Leaf fan say, wow, we didn't play well? I don't think so. I think the Maple Leaf fan is really pleased that they got out of there with that win. Everybody knows Seth Jones, my dog. He played like a spaz last night, all right? Kulikov, very bad. Mikula, very bad.
Mikula.
Barkov with the turnover, which led to a scoring chance. Barkov taking a penalty. Even in the third period, when the Panthers are rolling and they make it 4-3, they still went and took 2 more penalties after that and gave up another goal off a turnover. So even in their best period, they were still crap, and they were right there at the end. So Dan Zazzle's going to be enraged with the Panthers. I'm moderately annoyed right now at last night's game.
Also, for context, remember how last year's second round started?
Yeah.
The Panthers had home ice against Boston.
Yeah, they lost.
They lost 6-1.
Yeah.
They got crushed.
Right.
6-1. This is a different scenario because you're just looking to win one, steal home ice advantage. Your fourth line barely plays last night. They just stopped playing. AJ Greer is probably for the best. Wouldn't surprise me at all if Mackey comes back. But right now, the Leafs fans, they're happy that they won. They kind of feel like they survived one. It also feels like there's
no way they feel great.
No, which is why they're trying so hard to get Sam Bennett suspended for.
Yes.
So.
There's no way.
It appears that Stolarz and Chris Nowinski, who once joined the show before and charged the Dolphins with murder or manslaughter,
former WWE superstar.
Yeah, Chris Harvard. Yeah. He theorized, which actually makes sense, that Stolarz got concussed initially on the shot from Sam Bennett, or was it Sam Reinhart that hit Stolarz in the mask, knocked his mask off? Because I think Sam Bennett is a victim of his reputation. We know when Sam Bennett is trying to do something, it looked like a fairly innocuous hit. Stolarz's mask came off.
He barely touched him.
I call it a graze.
It looked like a dive initially, but
Wait
I think
a minute.
And also if there was something behind it, Toronto, those Maple Leafs players would have went at Bennett in that moment. It was that innocuous in the moment, but everyone now that is supporting the Toronto Maple Leafs is trying to suspend Sam Bennett for something that I don't think actually caused the concussion.
The guy was vomiting on the bench. Something caused the concussion.
Clearly concussed,
right.
But I don't think it was that interaction with Bennett, the one that everyone's pointing to, that they allege is a dirty hit because they don't want to go back and say, hey, this came out of the run of play. This was a shot off his face mask.
That's the main thing why I don't believe Bennett's getting suspended. Number one, it's if you look at that play, just isolate that one play. That is not a play that gets you suspended in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That's number one.
It wasn't even a play that got Toronto to defend their goalie.
Yeah, and again, no penalty. All right, now I understand Ekblad got banned 2 games, no penalty. But this, there's nothing there. The second part is, if they were to suspend Bennett, they are acknowledging that they allowed a player who was concussed earlier in the game to remain in the game for another 9 minutes of real time. That's what they would be acknowledging if they're going to suspend Sam Bennett there. There's no... I'll go as far as to say I don't think they're going to even have a hearing.
Well, you don't think that they'll allege that the concussion did... If they suspend Sam Bennett, then they're going to say that the concussion came from that fairly innocuous hit in the crease, a hit so innocuous that none of his Maple Leafs teammates came to back him up.
So they're just going to ignore the puck to the head.
Right. We'll know about it, but they'll just kind of assume they have public support on this.
I'd be stunned.
Okay, I predict that Sam Bennett will be suspended.
Do you agree, though?
But for what?
Yeah, I do, because it's an elbow to the head.
But he tucked it in. But he didn't even give him one of those.
I think it's enough for a suspension.
I think you call it a push at max.
Yes.
A graze.
Okay, I
there's
don't.
no punch or elbow thrown there.
I won't be pleased to be the one right here, but I think he will be suspended and probably should be. But the Panthers are so good they can overcome Sam Bennett missing a game. If their penalty kill stays the way they dominated Tampa, they were 5 for 5 last night.
Can I just stop all of you just for a second? Because I will concede to you that what I'm hearing in this room feels like a whole lot of Panther fans perfectly fine with what happened with the Florida Panthers last night. Zaz going as far as to say that the Toronto fan doesn't feel that good about that because of how it played out. And I would say the reason that I fear teams like Winnipeg and Toronto and Washington, and I fear everyone, it seems like, is because hockey is going to hockey. And I know the Panthers have the best team, but it happens, and then you're down 1-0 to a Toronto team that is good enough, could have gotten knocked out in the first round, but that's a scary team. And so I don't feel good about that. And Sam Bennett possibly being suspended because, as you guys have the sports argument, they've got a concussion problem throughout sports. And whether it was or wasn't what caused the concussion, Sam Bennett's reputation is that's the dirtiest, and the Panthers are the dirtiest. And what happens when Sam Bennett does that is the entirety of the internet hockey world that isn't a Florida Panther says, those people down there in Florida are kind of scumbags. And you guys are like, but they're ours.
I'll wear it.
But they're ours.
I don't care. I'll wear it.
The other thing I would factor in is that you want to protect the goalie. Okay, you protect that goalie. That's his crease. And when you have somebody throwing an elbow at a goalie's
Throwing
hand,
an elbow.
I don't agree with that.
Have you watched the replay?
Yeah, I have watched the replay.
They collided, but I understand what you're saying. You don't want that happening to your goalie. You know who doesn't want that happening to their goalie the most? The Toronto Maple Leafs that are on the ice.
Right.
Nobody came to his defense because it was that innocuous. If you actually watch the play, Bennett actually tucks his elbow in, trying to avoid Stolarz. The concussion, I would bet my life, didn't happen on that play. It happened when he took a puck to the face that knocked his helmet off.
Okay.
And he probably really felt it off of a fairly innocuous hit that got him loopy. He was probably feeling loopy well before that.
Okay, I'm not predicting a suspension or saying what I'm saying as a fan because I'm not a fan. I'm neutral here, and I wonder.
3 journalists here in this room,
and I wonder how the rest of you would feel if a Maple Leafs elbow had given.
If I saw the replay and there was no extension of the elbow, it's just like
if Bobrovsky's vomiting on the bench and he's perhaps out of the next game, you want someone suspended.
I'd be calling for the death penalty.
I understand what you're saying, but I also think this is where our Panthers fandom actually helps contextualize this because we were paying attention to what happened earlier in the game. And we're pretty aware that that was a wicked shot that he took off his face mask.
Right.
And we also know that when Sam Bennett means to hit somebody dirty, he commits to hitting somebody dirty. The elbow doesn't go in. The elbow goes out. And I just think if he got suspended, it would be really unfortunate and it would be the league bending to pressure because he has this reputation.
I don't even think there's going to be a hearing. I think it's a waste of everybody's time.
Straight to the gallows.
Of course we're talking about this because it's Toronto and they're maniacs up there in Canada, and it's Sam Bennett who has the reputation. I don't even think there's going to be a hearing. Stop wasting my time.
Emily Kaplan has tweeted this morning, nothing confirmed yet, but I don't believe Sam Bennett will receive supplement discipline for his contact with Stolarz.
He's not. I'm reporting it. Put it on the crawl on ESPN. I'm reporting.
Well,
no discipline.
This is why he's a rising star at ESPN.
Put it on the crawl.
He just said to everybody, there will be no hearing. He's like, suspend him, and he runs with the torches. The internet says Sam Bennett's dirty, and Zazlo's Judge Zaz, who doesn't want Judge Zaz of sports. And
I am a judge.
Judge Zaz saying to you the thing you always want to hear about around the best sporting events, hearings. Zaslow says there will not. He is saying there will not even. Never mind.
Don't waste my time.
Never mind an investigation. No, there will be no investigation. There's video out there. Everybody's screaming.
What did he investigate? I saw it.
Not even a hearing.
Nope. Stop wasting my time.
Who's going to be right between Zaslow doesn't get a hearing, stop wasting my time, and Greg Cody, virtue signaler, it looked like an elbow, and we don't like concussion, suspend him.
Can it be as simple as if the Panthers come back and win last night, he probably gets suspended, and since they lost, like, to balance things out? I thought that's what happened with Tampa.
But that's the other thing about what happened last night. Oh, you guys got all cocky because here comes Florida doing what they do. Yes, on the momentum of a dirty hit.
I mean, what happened to Tampa was obvious. Aaron Ekblad went to kill Brendan Hagel because Hagel was super dirty earlier in the series.
Right, they missed the call. It was still so on purpose.
Not some two-faced hypocrite. Like we were saying, Ekblad should be suspended for that. That was with intention, and you're damn right it was intentional because he was defending his guy.
Yep.
This was not a concussion that was delivered by Sam Bennett in that moment. It just wasn't.
Yeah, you can't say that it's all Panther, fans here who are defending Sam Bennett in that spot when we're all readily admitting, yeah, I get Ekblad being suspended. Makes sense. But here in this spot, it's like, no, that's not a suspension.
Okay, but I would ask you guys to consider if you realize that you're in the most magical place that there is in sports and the closest thing we've had in this city to this than when the Miami Heat were dominating this town for 15 years. Your team, a relevant one, your team, a champion, is despised by and respected and despised by people in hockey because the way they play in the playoffs is so physical that when Sam Bennett is dirty, no one is surprised and can see optical illusions, and no one would be surprised because, the Panthers are dirty and they are dirty, and what are you going to do about it? Are you going to suspend them? Because we'll take the suspension on Ekblad and the hit. Yep. You know why? Because we wanted him to do that. Because this sport, that cost a gold, did it not? What happened with Ekblad, everyone supported, even though they acknowledged what Ekblad did was whatever, morally right in defense of the Panthers, but also it was costly. The penalty for it was costly.
They scored 2 goals in 11 seconds after Ekblad delivered that hit. And then Ekblad, I believe, scored later on.
He ended up – not only did they not call a penalty on Ekblad on that play, but he went on to have maybe the most impactful game he's ever had as a Panther, taking that guy out for our captain and then scoring the game-time goal.
We've probably spent too much time on Sam Bennett because I just flatly don't think anything nefarious happened there. Yeah.
Nothing's happening.
But for me, the headline is Florida played very poorly. They were sloppy. They were sliding into their own guys. There were bad giveaways in their own zone. The fourth-line wingers don't appear to be a fit for this specific series.
Seth Jones was a spaz last
Barkov was bad. Seth Jones was a mixed experience. Verhaeghe has been frustrating people. I actually didn't think that he was that bad. Brad Marchand was actually really good on the night.
That's my dog. That's my rat right there.
So I think Florida's well positioned, and also the elephant in the room today that we should be discussing is the fact that heavy is that crest for Toronto. They could be up 2-0. They could be up 3-0. The sphincters in that collective province of Ontario are going to be this tight because the Toronto Maple Leafs just struggle when they're on the front foot.
I'd like some help from Greg Cody on this because I don't know where the line is on Mike Ryan's appraisal that Seth Jones is, I think, a mixed experience or a mixed bag experience. I missed it, but as you were saying it, Zaz was calling him a spaz. So what is the difference? Like, what is the line? I don't know hockey well enough to know the difference between a mixed experience and a spaz because when I saw Seth Jones play, I just thought he was kind of average.
I mean, he scored a goal and he broke up a breakaway. Like, he had very good moments in that game.
A spaz is what he called it.
He also had some weird turnovers. Like, he had some weird passes.
He's doing like spinneroonies and losing the puck. That's a spaz.
Well, back in my day, the word spaz was derogatory. I think.
You think I'm saying it as a compliment right now?
Apparently not. I think Seth Jones has been a great addition. Naturally, Brad Marchand gets all the attention as far as their late season addition. Seth Jones has been great. He's a reason that they're doing what they're doing right now.